Straight ahead on CCX News, a safety concern in Brooklyn Center and the city's new approach to it. How the city plans to prevent panhandlers along busy streets. Plus, are you wasting water on your lawn? The chances are it's likely, and we'll show you a big reason why. And a school year showcase. The student projects at Cooper that amaze teachers. CCX News starts right now. Hello and thanks for joining us. Brooklyn Center may take a new approach to the issue of panhandlers along busy streets.
A proposed ordinance is expected to focus on safety issues. Some panhandlers have been hit by cars or caused other kinds of traffic problems in recent years, but cities are finding it hard to ban them because Supreme Court decisions have overturned those bans. After a work session this week, the new approach in Brooklyn Center is to focus on those who remain on narrow medians for an extended period of time as a safety issue.
So we're really seriously looking at those intersections that have narrow medians and putting in an ordinance that says, in essence, that if you're in that median for two semaphore cycles and you're observed by an officer, of course, as well, yeah, you're going to get tagged for a misdemeanor.
Under the expected ordinance, if you need to use the median briefly while crossing the street, that would be okay, but not for more than one cycle of the traffic light. Mayor Wilson says a proposed ordinance is likely to come before the City Council later this summer.
Family and friends will gather in Plymouth tonight, that's Friday evening, to remember 7-year-old Kiera Samuels, who died Wednesday after he accidentally shot himself. A memorial is growing at Kiera's home. Teddy bears, balloons, and other items line the front porch. The family is asking people to bring stuffed animals to the vigil, which will be held near the family's home. Police say Kiera died after he found a loaded handgun in a box that also contained a new hoverboard. Authorities are running ballistic tests to see who owns the weapon. Kiera's mom told police she didn't know a gun was in the home.
Wasting water is never a good thing.
And a survey in Brooklyn Park shows that most home sprinkler systems are not working properly. So how to fix it? We get some answers from Eric Nelson.
Here in the land of sky blue waters, lakes and rivers are everywhere, but that doesn't mean Minnesota has an endless supply of water.
Water is our #1 resource. We can't take it for granted.
Wasting water is a problem in the Twin Cities and around the globe.
We don't want to waste water.
In a Brooklyn Park survey, 75% of residents with lawn irrigation systems had at least one leaky sprinkler head.
My first response to that survey was, if something's leaking, please fix it.
Most of us want an emerald green lawn for neighborhood curb appeal. That's why checking your sprinklers often is a good thing. No one should be watering their driveway.
They should check each zone and see which ones are working, which ones are not working, because things break. You know, with the ice in the winter, things shift. If the sprinkler heads are near the street, a snowplow might get them.
Fixing a faulty irrigation system makes sense, because if you don't, it can be costly.
That adds up to hundreds, if not thousands of gallons of water and real money to homeowners.
Brooklyn Park sits on an old sand plain. Watering grass in parts of the city is tricky.
The majority of town has a lot of sandy soils which suck up the water even faster, and so all the more reason to be very, aware of what water you're using.
The best time to water your lawn is in the early morning hours, sometime between 4 and 10 a.m.
That guarantees that more water is going to get into the ground. If you do it after 10 into the noon and 2 and 4 o'clock hour, you're losing 50 to 70% of that water to evaporation.
In Brooklyn Park, I'm Eric Nelson, CCX News.
If you need to replace sprinkler heads, it is not expensive. Costs typically range from $3 to $7 a piece.
The students at the School of Engineering and Arts in Golden Valley had a special surprise visit today. As you can see, the children were super excited to see TC Bear. They were equally charged to meet Twins pitcher Matt McGill and strength coach Perry Castellano. The Twins talked to the kids about staying healthy and active. The coach also put the students through some of the same workouts he leads pitchers through on game day.
It's important to stay healthy. It's important to stay in school. It's important to just have fun, stay active. It's just the kids these nowadays, it's just awesome being outside. And for this education that they have, it's just incredible right now.
It's important to get out in the community and actually show that professional athletes do stay active, stay in school, and emphasize how they got to a certain point.
The school is taking part in the Hennepin County Step To It Challenge. The 3 schools with the most steps win a visit by the twins.
If the weather has your green thumb itching, there are plenty of opportunities this time of year to buy plants for a good cause. This year, the Interfaith Outreach Plant Sale will be in the parking lot of the Plymouth location on Highway 101. It is Saturday only from 8 to 4 p.m. All proceeds will go to help struggling families involved in interfaith outreach services.
We've got all these community members who have donated plants. They've dug them up out of their gardens and they've donated them, and we're watering them and pricing them, and they're priced to sell.
You can also purchase garden items that have been donated, like these bird houses. If you can't make this plant sale, there is another one Saturday in Crystal, and that's at the community center from 9 until 2 o'clock.
The first video history of Maple Grove has been unveiled. It's a project CCX Media has been working on for many months. Members of the Maple Grove Historical Society saw the debut of the 34-minute video at a meeting on Thursday night. It includes interviews with descendants of early settlers, as well as disagreements over development in the 1960s and 70s, and a look at how the gravel mining area has evolved. Historical Society members say there's a lot of history to tell.
A lot of folks don't realize that this whole area started back in the 1850s. All they see now is all the massive shopping and dining and things like that. So, but they don't realize how far back we go and the old businesses that we had back then.
You can see the history video on CCX Media on Monday evening, May 21st, starting at 8 p.m. It'll also be on our website next week. Look under Our Town Stories, Maple Grove. Still ahead on CCX News, a showcase of creativity and critical thinking by Cooper High School students.
Plus, Champlin Park takes on Armstrong in a key game in the Northwest Suburban Conference baseball standings. That's later in sports.
But first, cooler and a chance for showers Saturday and Sunday. When the Brooklyn Center Rotary Club started 40 years ago, the club considered itself mavericks for allowing women.
And at that time, in 1978, Rotary International did not allow women. That changed with a U.S. Supreme Court ruling in 1987, and this week, Brooklyn Center Rotary Club celebrates its 40-year history. Over the years, the club has heard from prominent speakers and worked on significant volunteer projects, from helping young girls in Haiti to raising money for band instruments at Brooklyn Center High School.
And I think we will raise something between $35,000 and $50,000 for musical instruments. And as you might expect, is that the students came in and practiced in the morning. They stayed in late and practiced late at night.
Unless you have a student in high school, you might not realize that the scope and rigor of some of the projects they create.
This year, teachers at Cooper High School are opening their doors to showcase the best of their fine arts and international baccalaureate program. Reporter Shannon Slatton gives us a preview.
Teachers at Cooper High School say people would be amazed to see the caliber of work that students produce in the International Baccalaureate program. The IB program requires critical thinking and self-motivation to produce in-depth projects.
The range of ideas is amazing. We've had students this year do writing projects. We've had someone build a ukulele. We've had someone learn how to rebuild a car engine.
For the first time since the program started in 1998, the public is invited to come and take a look at some of those projects.
We have so many talented students here at Cooper, and this is a great opportunity for them to showcase that. We see it every day, but we're hoping that the greater community comes in to see their work and experience the things they do.
Here's a sampling of 3 projects, starting with 10th grader Taylor Shaw, who wants to show how a teenager's life is different from what you see in the media.
I worked pretty hard since the personal project is about a year. I worked a year taking pictures, doing the journal entries, writing the essay.
Lou Vang went through 13 drafts before producing this dystopian novella about a girl who lives in a society where free thought is restricted.
I like dystopian, but at the same time it's because I was searching for answers when I was writing the story, and dystopian is a genre where a lot of people look for answers to the real world in stories.
We put John Bronell on the spot and asked him to sing the song he created.
Our love kept me alive. So for the personal project, I decided I wanted to create a song because I love music and I really wanted to explore what music was for me and what that could be in my own personal life.
Teachers are continually amazed at what students produce, and they know if the public comes to check out the showcase, they will be too. In New Hope, Shannon Slatton, CCX News.
And the Fine Arts IB Expo is in the Cooper Cafeteria on Tuesday, May 29th, starting at 6 p.m. Well, still ahead, bold and beautiful photos inspired by a butterfly.
But first, the top-ranked Benilde-St. Margaret's boys lacrosse team takes aim at another big win. John Jacobson has their highlights next.
I'm John Jacobson with sports. The Champlin Park and Armstrong baseball teams are in the thick of the race for the Northwest Suburban Conference title. They met in a key game Thursday. The Rebels on their home field to face Armstrong. A shaky defensive inning costs Armstrong. Pitcher Zach Myers fields the bunt but throws it away past first base. 1 run scores, but Nate Perdola throws home and he nails Nick Bauer to prevent another run from scoring. Next up, Andrew Stifter singles to right to score another run. Champlin Park goes up through 2-0 through 2 innings. Rebels lefty Max Loven is unhittable early. He strikes out the side in the 4th and has a no-hitter until the 6th inning. In the bottom of the 5th, the Rebels break it open as Vincent Lamberty drills a double to left center. Owen Trelstead and Noah Christensen score to make it 4-0 Rebels. Stifter follows with a single up the middle to score Bauer to make it 5-0. They had one more for a 6-0 lead. And that's plenty for Loven, who finishes with a 3-hit shutout and 10 strikeouts. Champlin Park wins 6-0 and improve to 8-3 in conference play with 2 games left. Section team champions will be crowned early next week in boys tennis in the area. The top 2 seeds advanced in Section 5AA. Top seed Wayzata facing St. Michael-Albertville in the semifinals. Number 1 singles John Foley in the far court for Wayzata. Strokes the forehand winner there. Later Foley serves up the backhand winner and he takes his match in straight sets. 1 doubles Michael Deal and Max Leo in the far court for Wayzata. Deal gets the backhand volley winner. Then on set point, Leo with the return winner, and the Trojans take their match in 2 sets as well. 2 singles, Caden Sigerud comes to the net for STMA, but Johnny Nudler floats a perfect lob to win the point. Nudler with a hard forehand here to set up a volley winner on his way to a straight set win. 3 singles, Jake Mendel serves, then rips the forehand winner. He wins a close tiebreaker and takes the first set. 2 doubles, Wayzata 7th grader Colin Badoon strokes the backhand return winner down the line. His partner Nick Uphoff will rifle an ace serve here, and the Trojans sweep all 7 matches to advance. In the other semifinal, Maple Grove swept Spring Lake Park 7-0. So it's Maple Grove and Wayzata playing for the section title. That match is Tuesday at 3 p.m. at Osseo High School. It's been a great spring so far for the Benilde-St. Margaret's boys lacrosse team. The Red Knights are unbeaten and ranked number 1 in the state. Red Knights hosting Eden Prairie Thursday night. 3rd quarter tied at 3. Benilde's Quinn Elon spins away from the defenders and scores to put the Red Knights on top. Just over a minute to go on the 3rd. Jack Van Overbeek lasers a goal in and BSM is up 5-3. 4th quarter, the Benilde shot goes off the goalie's helmet, pops out. Shay Kenny Lenhart, he moves in, buries the shot, and the Red Knights keep the scoring going. Eric Weber will score to put Benilde up 7-3. They win 8-3, and they are now 11-0 on the season. The section softball playoffs get started on Monday for local teams in Section 5-4A. The Champlin Park Rebels tuned up by lighting up the scoreboard Thursday. Rebels at home to face Armstrong. Already up 2-0. Champlin Park gets another. Piper Otto grounds it past the 3rd baseman. Aaron Reardon comes in to score, and the Rebels go up 3-0 in the 2nd inning. Same inning, and Abby Gilk really connects, driving it over the fence in right center for a home run. Rebels get 6 runs in the second inning to take a 6-0 lead over the Falcons. Armstrong comes back in the third. Leah Baker hits a line drive into the left center field gap here. Claire Holden and Kate Lloydel score to pull the Falcons within 6-2. And they look for more. Mary Isaac slaps a hit to center. But watch the strong throw by Reardon, and she fires home to get Holden at the plate to end the Falcons' rally. In the bottom of the fourth, Holly Blaska gets in on the fun, tagging a 2-run shot to right center for the Rebels. That gets it to an 8-2 lead. They go on to win 13-3 in 5 innings over Armstrong. And that is all for sports. We'll be back with more in a moment.
Have you ever looked at a photograph and said, how did they do that?
Right. In today's Weekend Showcase, Neil Persley introduces us to one man doing some mind-bending things with digital images.
It's the entire picture that's been manipulated. So I take that digital file and just move it into the programs I'm going to work with.
What John Nemi does with digital imaging is mind-blowing.
And then begin manipulating it, cutting it apart, sticking it back together again, and stretching it and massaging it.
The images and patterns are wildly abstract, but the theme of many of his works came from observing those little winged insects of summer in his backyard garden.
So I got to thinking about, I wonder if I can make butterflies and just see if I can't capture kind of that sense of wonder of the butterfly fluttering around and looking at it in different ways.
John's been digitally manipulating images for about 10 years, and his techniques have evolved along with the technology.
And then I began to think about, how would Monet do a butterfly, or how would Picasso do a butterfly, or Paul Klee, and I began to kind of try to interpret the butterfly.
The images feature bold colors and deeply saturated hues. Looking ahead, John's thinking that bigger is better.
I'd like to take some of these things and go 30 by 40, 60 by 90. The detail that's in there in terms of a pixel you can't see to a pixel you can just kind of see to a pixel that knocks you over.
Ever been pummeled by a pixel? For Weekend Showcase from Robbin Gallery in Robbinsdale, Neil Persley, CCX News.
You got to see that one in person, right? Horizons, Landscapes, and Butterflies by John Nemi will be on display at the Robbin Gallery through May 26. That'll do it. That's it for now. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Have a great weekend.
And we will see you back here starting Monday at 4 o'clock.